A disorder's written language involves sophisticated imperative fluent words, identifying writing, spelling, reading, comprehensions, or writing expressions. Writing is a developmental of meaning using print symbols, a form of letters or visual characters, which make up words. Spelling, also known as encoding, require skills to segment a word into phonemics and maps into graphics, letters, or letter combinations in an APA-SQL written form. So low income disability, LI, or high intensity, HI, depends on several like autism, hearing impairments, emotional disturbance, deaf, speech, or language, blindness, learning disability, trauma, brain injury, visual impairment, and multiple disabilities. The challenges that students with these disabilities commonly face in both schools and national settings are being bullied by other students who don't understand what they are going through. Even if they are going to the supermarket and people just stare at them because they're in a wheelchair or have severe disabilities. People might not understand what they really feel, but inside they are hurt and just wish they were normal, just like everyone else.
Hearing Loss Association of America, HLAA, is a website filled with information about hearing help, events, and online community, advocacy, and training. One event that they are hosting in 2018 is the Walk for Hearing, and this is on Friday, June 22nd, 2018. Now, what's great, after the walk, they're going to have a keynote speaker. Her name is Mandy Harvey. She is a songwriter, a singer, a motivational speaker, and she actually has hearing loss. She was on America's Got Talent, and she's promoting that even if you're disabled, you can sing and you can still dance, or you can do anything that you put your mind to it. So Hearing Loss Association of America has information like that, where there's different community-based outreach programs, it's advocacy for the people who are disabled, and they have training to also help with them. New Jersey Division of Deaf and Hard of Hearing, DDHH. This division provides education, advocacy, and direct service to eliminate barriers, and promote and increase accessibility to programs, service and information routinely, and different checkups. This program helps people who are born deaf or later on in life who are experiencing hearing loss. DDHH includes communication access referral services, technical assistance, equipment distribution, stakeholder communication, and advocacy. Other support from the hearing impaired are charity programs. In the state of New Jersey, Hearing Aid Project is a charity that helps with getting free hearing aids for people who can't afford it. This organization works with Hearing Charities of America, Montclair State University, New Jersey Division of Human Services, and STORMA. They work together to provide eligible loss income individuals access to needing hearing assistance devices, which can be quite expensive, the devices. They have been working on this project since 2013, and they're able to provide 150 hearing aids a year for people who can't afford them. There are different supports in the school system. Student population in the school settings. The first support in the school is to put and include statements in your course syllabus. So to put in your class syllabus accommodations for any student that has a disability, make it known that everyone who does have a disability to notify you and to give you the proper documentations. Another effective approach in a school setting is allowing for participation by students of hearing impairment. Putting them in small groups, having them interact with not only people who are disabled with hearing loss, but other students who can talk, to not only help the impaired student, but also the student who has nothing wrong with him or her, where they can communicate and feel like one, can feel like they're in a group. This support is benefiting the class because students without disabilities are trying to understand and will get a better understanding when the person with disabilities in their group, and they can work better with other people. It's group work, working together. So students who are in smaller groups and working in group projects and they have hearing loss, they feel like they're included. They're not left out. That they feel like they're a class and they're not just out by themselves.
Some technology that can be used by a person with hearing impairment are the motion-savvy UNI, solar ear, and even a low-tech ways to decorate or disguise the hearing aid or cochlear implant. Motion Savvy UNI is an app made by students. It's the world's first two-way communication software for the deaf. UNI translates American Sign Language into speech and speech into text. It takes a camera that analyzes and locates both hands and all fingers. By doing this, it can distinguish what sign you're using. It provides live feedback so that it can make sure the gestures it recognizes are correct. The more you use it, the more it customizes to your sign, and the more accurate it becomes. It was released in 2015. Solar Ear was made to help those who live in low to middle income houses. The cost of hearing aids and batteries is a stretch for low incomes and poor. Solar Ear is a solar powered hearing battery. It costs less than a traditional hearing aid battery and will last for 2 to 3 years. That is significantly longer than the average hearing aid battery, which normally lasts for about 22 days at most. The company will also help some customers get the complete hearing aid and battery at a reduced price.
About 15 years ago, my healthy daughter Sarah suddenly died in the middle of the night. Went back to work the next week, and the company I worked for fired me. I was lost. I figured I had these skills as a business person. Why not go as a volunteer to Africa? In a way, trying to give meaning to my daughter's death. According to the World Health Organization, there's about 600 million people who are hearing impaired. 2/3 of them live in developing countries. Yet only 12% of hearing aids go to these countries. The problem with hearing aids is not only the cost of a hearing aid, but the price and accessibility of a hearing aid battery. Battery costs about $1 and lasts about a week. One of the common features in developing countries is the sun is free. Why not use that energy to recharge the battery? So what we did is, with our workers who are deaf, we designed the first rechargeable hearing aid battery that costs the same as a regular battery, but lasts 2 to 3 years. We can make a hearing aid and sell it at a profit for under $100. And the average hearing aid in the United States, for example, is anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000, and they're buying from the same sources I do. Carl Jung, the great philosopher, once said, "You want people to see their shadow, and then realize the light is coming from them." And that's what I do with our workers who are deaf around the world. Our project's all about opportunity, about seeing your own shadow.
Haley's Cherished Charms was founded by a 10-year-old girl. Her name is Haley. She goes to a school for the deaf and hard of hearing. She noticed that most of her classmates hid their hearing aids behind their hair. Haley said, "I want to make my hearing aid shine and be fancy and proud of my hearing aid." After that, she began designing jewelry, or better known as hearing aid bling. Haley's Charms comes in different colors and can even be used for a cochlear implant. The charms are not only for young girls, but also are being made for boys and adults.
There are many different educational strategies for teaching students with hearing impairment. One of the main educational approaches teachers can use for their students with hearing impairment is when given instructions, teachers should keep them short. Keeping the instructions short gives students the chance to process the information. Giving the students the chance to process information will allow them a chance to come up with questions if they have any. When given instructions, teachers should make sure they are facing the students. That gives them a chance to read their lips so they can understand what the teacher has said. When repeating information, teachers should use the same words as they did before when they first gave the information out. Along with giving information verbally, educators should give information visually as well. For instance, teachers should use handout, PowerPoint, the chalkboard, or a smartboard when it is possible to do so. When teachers are having a group discussion, they should tell the students to speak one at a time so that students that have a hearing impairment can hear what the class is discussing. Make sure when students are in a group setting, they are sitting in a position where they can hear their classmates without having any trouble. When students can see their classmates clearly, they are able to communicate better with their classmates. When it is possible, teachers should use the bilingual bicultural approach. The bilingual bicultural approach is when only American Sign Language is used. The benefits of using this method in the classroom that it is easier for students to understand what is being said around them because they are using sign language. This method helps a lot of students because they do not have to worry about reading lips or trying to understand what is being said to them. Educators should also use the arbitrary as a form of communicating with their students. With this method, students use English through residual hearing. The residual hearing is the hearing that children have left over after having hearing problems. For children to use this educational approach in the classroom, they have to have access to language at an early age. This method is one of the hardest methods to input in schools on a regular basis. Teachers should also use a combination of arbitrary or a visual form of communicating. This is when educators use speaking and visual aids to teach students. This is a good one to teach students because if the student is having trouble understanding what is being said to them, they can use sign language or use a handout or a PowerPoint to better understand the task that they was giving.